Mic check, mic. Okay. Hi, I'm Terry, better known as Mr. White Keys, and we've got something cool for you today. Today we're going to look at the futuristic, innovative technology behind Götti Switzerland's Dimension collection. These glasses are 3D centered from a Nanofusion polyamide, which is a fine nylon powder, and then shaped into a pair of glasses and then dyed using a special process thanks to a collaboration between Götti Switzerland and Dimension that allows them to offer these glasses in over 14 different colors. We'll talk about that in just a moment. Don't go anywhere. If you're seeking a truly personal, made-for-you, bespoke artisan eyewear experience, Götti of Switzerland offers one through its Dimensions collection. Unlike the bespoke artisan eyewear experience offered by Tom Davies, which included acetate, metal, and combinations of materials, the Götti Dimensions collection is made from 3D centered polyamide. It's a fine nylon powder engineered into frames that are incredibly precise, remarkably strong, and almost completely weightless. They are light as a feather. They're engineered for all-day comfort, and they're built to last. In fact, I have a pair of Götti Switzerland Dimension collection frames that I'm going to show you now. Here are the frames. This is the box you get. I did choose a very loud color. I have a lot of blues in my collection, so I wanted something that's different. In fact, these frames are blue. The one I'm about to show you is really blue. Now that's blue. This particular colorway is called Pool, and it's a very interesting blue color that just really pops. Now, Götti frames from the Dimensions collection are actually available in over a dozen colors, thanks to a partnership between Götti Switzerland and Dimension. And one of the things that's truly remarkable about these frames is they weigh literally as light as a feather, and yet they're very strong. The hinges are very strong. The hinges have a bit of spring to it, but they don't use the commonly used spring mechanism for this that fails early. Hinges are one of the most important parts of the longevity of a frame. What they've done here is they have a very clever hinge that really doesn't have any moving parts. It just is metal that bends. And so it's guaranteed to last a long time. This also has a very unusual texture. So one of the colorways that I think is very interesting is the denim colorway, which is a dark blue. And the denim colorway together with this kind of material that has a bit of relief to it actually looks like jeans. So you can imagine throwing those on with a pair of jeans and a t-shirt. Very perfect for casual wear. In any case, for more formal occasions, they have colors like black and mocha and oxblood. So it's really something that you should check out. I've really enjoyed wearing these frames. I made these as computer glasses with a bit of a tint, but no flash mirror. And so one of the reasons why I selected these frames is because they're so light and they're really built for all-day comfort. I spend long hours in front of the computer, and these have really just been perfect for that. In an industry that celebrates tradition, few brands have managed to merge craftsmanship with cutting-edge technology as elegantly as Götti Switzerland. Founded by designer Sven Götti, the company has built its reputation on minimalist Swiss eyewear design and impeccable precision, values that are perfectly embodied in the Götti Switzerland Dimensions collection, a line of eyewear that not only feels like it was made for you, but feels like it was made around you. The Götti Dimensions collection represents a fusion of advanced 3D printing technology and Swiss artisanal finishing. Each frame is 3D centered from high-performance polyamide powder, a process that transforms fine polymer powder into a solid structure using a laser. Layer by layer, the frame takes shape, not through molding or cutting, but through additive manufacturing that allows for microscopic precision. The result is a frame that is exceptionally lightweight, strong, and beautifully balanced. Polyamide, unlike traditional acetate or metal, offers a unique tactile sensation. Soft yet structured, durable yet flexible. When you pick up a pair from the Dimensions line, you immediately notice the difference. It feels absolutely weightless, but not fragile. Götti offers the Dimensions collection in over a dozen custom colors, each with a distinct character, from muted neutrals to expressive, fashion-forward hues. The coloration process is just as refined as the product itself. Each frame is dyed and finished by hand, ensuring consistency, depth, and a velvety matte surface that highlights Götti's minimalist design language. So if you're looking to add some color to your eyewear collection, this is a great way to do it. And I would also say that if you're looking to add a pair of computer glasses to your collection, this is a great choice because they're so light, it literally feels like you don't have anything on. A combination of the base curve, sort of the flatness, the eye size, everything contributes to a very enjoyable experience in looking through these. This is a single vision lens made as a computer eyeglass. And I did these as an IOT Technology Endless lens, which is an absolutely great way to go. And I did it in a Trivex lens. The other thing that I did is I added a sky blue tint, 23% to clear. And boy, Daniel, your lab really just nailed the color. You're not kidding. The color of the tint is absolutely perfect. So as a computer eyeglass, I think we really just nailed it. So thank you, Daniel, for you and your team and all that you guys are doing. And definitely thank your lab because they really nailed it with the tint combination. Another thing that these glasses have is they have a blue blocker that's included in the lens. And that's something you really want if you're working on the computer. It helps reduce eye strain and all of that. It also keeps the light from the computer screen or from electronic screens from interfering with your circadian rhythm, which helps you sleep better. So it's a good idea to add, if you're doing a computer eyeglass, you definitely want to add a blue blocker. So let's talk about the Bespoke Dimension. For those of you that are seeking even a more individualized experience, Götti Switzerland has a bespoke service that allows your optician to take many measurements of your head, your nose bridge, your temples, your ears, your eyes, and then they send that information to Götti Switzerland, and Götti Switzerland will then manufacture a model of their glasses specifically to fit you. Using advanced facial measurement technology, the brand can adjust frame dimensions, the bridge width, the temple length, the lens size, the curvature to fit your facial structure in a unique way. This level of customization goes beyond aesthetics. It's about perfect ergonomics. The result is a pair of glasses that fits so naturally that you barely feel them, a true extension of yourself rather than an accessory perched on your face. What makes these frames so special? Well, first of all, there's lightness. Thanks to the polyamide and additive manufacturing. Basically, it's a nylon powder. I'd like to say these frames feel remarkably light, but that doesn't quite get it. These frames are literally weightless. If you took a paper clip in one hand and put these frames in the other, the paper clip would feel heavier. Next is fit and comfort. The combination of the bespoke service and the extreme lightness of the frames means that these will fit you like a glove. Then there's design freedom. 3D centering or 3D printing allows forms and details that might be difficult for a CNC milling machine. Finish and color quality. The Dimension partnership means that the colors are not afterthoughts. They're integral, high-quality finishes that offer consistency, skin compatibility, and depth. So if that sounds like what you're looking for, meticulously designed, custom-colored 3D printed frames that fit you, the Götti Dimensions collection is one of the most forward-thinking options out there. Be sure to check the link in the description or visit Hicks Bronson Eyewear to explore the full color palette and ask about the bespoke sizing and see how the material feels in person. So these frames are a 51 eye size, a 19 nose bridge, and a 140 millimeter temple arm. This frame is what we call the Myles frame, and it's part of the Dimensions collection of Götti Switzerland. So a couple of things to notice about these frames. Notice they have kind of a bump here in the front. You would think that that's a saddle bridge, when in fact, there actually is no saddle bridge. It's just sort of a bulge in this part of the frame. I think that that makes these slightly less comfortable, but it's hard to say that because these frames are so light that when they go on, they're literally not even there. But if I were to compare these to something like the Masunaga 100 that has the saddle bridge, the Masunaga 100 kind of feels like it's hugging your face. You know, it's just giving your face a hug. Part of it has to do with the way the saddle bridge is, but there's maximum sort of contact on the top of the frame, on the sides of the frame, on the nose bridge, even on the bottom of the frame. There's contact everywhere, and it sort of takes that weight of the Masunaga 100s, which are considerably heavier, and makes it disappear as soon as you put it on your face. Now, these feel weightless, but they feel weightless because they are. It's not the bridge fit. that makes it feel weightless. I think there's probably some room for improvement on the bridge fit. If they were to add a saddle bridge to this, maybe there's a technological reason why they can't do that, something to do with the 3D centering process. But I think these would be more comfortable if they had that saddle bridge there. Another thing that I've noticed is that when you put them on the face, they just seem to fit right out of the box. I haven't had these adjusted or anything, and I don't feel like I need to have them adjusted. They literally just fit right out of the box. Oh, and by the way, let's talk about the box. This is the box that they come in. So this is the Götti Dimensions case. It's a very light case. If you open it up, you see Götti Switzerland on the inside. They also have a cleaning cloth, and the cleaning cloth says Götti Switzerland on it. It's fairly substantial, nothing like a T. Henry or anything like that, but it's also, you're not paying T. Henry money for these frames either, right? And it's very compact. One of the things that I like about it, it's kind of a slimline case. And then of course, these are so light that when you put these in the case still weighs nothing. The case feels empty whether the glasses are in them or not. I can't stress enough how light these frames are. I can't even put it into words. Now, one of the reasons why I created these frames is I wanted to have a pair of glasses that I can use to work on the computer. And a lot of times I'm working on the computer 12 to 14 hours a day, so I need a very comfortable pair of glasses. These glasses go a step beyond comfort. They're just literally weightless. You put them on, they're still not even there. Another thing to notice is the hinges. The hinges are very unique. I don't know how they put them together, but they seem to have like a detent. So for instance, if I close one of the arms, it kind of clicks. It has this sort of spring effect that makes it want to close. And then the same thing when you open it. They also have the ability to open wider. So it's a spring hinge, but because it's not made with the same mechanism of other spring hinges, it doesn't feel like these hinges will fail very quickly. And one of the things that's nice about this, when I put these on, there's this curve here. So they widen just enough for me to get them on my head, but then once the temple arms are behind my ear, they go back into position. So in other words, they get a little bit wider as I'm putting them on, but then they snap back to the closed position once I get them on, once the end of the temple arms are behind my ears. So that's kind of cool. But these frames are most definitely a conversation piece. I definitely had a reaction from every single person who's seen the frames. And the reaction is usually something like, oh, okay. And so definitely this is a bold color. But I am secure enough in my own manhood to rock this color. So there's that. Now, of course, behind every piece of eyewear, there's a story. Behind every designer, behind every company, and behind every individual piece. And also, behind the choices that we make when selecting the eyewear, when customizing and personalizing the eyewear with tints and gradients and flash mirrors and photochromic choices. I'd like to talk a little bit about how these eyeglasses are very personal for me. When I was young, we lived on a small island, and anytime you wanted to go shopping, it involved a 3-hour drive to another state. So shopping was a real experience. And one day, when I was about 11 or 12 years old, my mother took me shopping. And while we were shopping, she found this members-only jacket. I don't know how many of you are old enough to remember the members-only jackets. In any case, it was in this color. And when I put it on, she said, wow, that really brings out your eyes. Your eyes look blue when you're wearing that jacket. And it was something that I never forgot. And she bought the jacket for me, which is unusual because most of the time she would shop for me at Kmart and I would wear whatever I got. But she bought this brand name jacket for me and it was my prized possession for a good many years. And it changed the way that I feel about myself. Every time I looked in the mirror, I thought, wow, my eyes are really beautiful. And it was the first time I'd ever seen myself that way. So that's one of the reasons why this particular colorway is very meaningful and has a personal story for me. My mother passed away in 1999, but I think these glasses remind me of her. And I think of her every time I put these on. Now, some people may say the color's a bit loud, and perhaps it is. In fact, I'm surprised you can even hear me talk over how loud these glasses are. But what it reminds me of is what's important. I remember my mother, and I remember all the fond memories that I had with her. So I need a moment. So anyway, hopefully you can see how personal the collage of choices that we make when selecting eyewear and personalizing that eyewear to fit our personal identity and our personal style, how important that is. It helps to determine how we see the world, and more importantly, how the world sees us. Well, that's all I've got for you today. Thank you for watching. I would appreciate it if you'd like and subscribe. It really helps to support the channel. And I'll see you in the next video.